First Contact and Cultural Shockwaves. Dr. Samantha Chen squinted at the holographic display, her brow furrowed in concentration. The quantum entanglement experiment she had been working on for months was yielding unexpected results. As she adjusted the parameters, a sudden surge of energy pulsed through the lab, causing the lights to flicker. "That's not supposed to happen," she muttered, her fingers flying across the haptic interface. The readings were off the charts, indicating a level of quantum coherence that defied current scientific understanding. As Samantha began to process the implications of her accidental discovery, a low hum filled the air. The hum grew louder, and a shimmering distortion appeared in the center of the lab. Samantha stumbled backward, her heart racing as the air seemed to twist and fold upon itself. In a flash of brilliant light, 3 figures materialized. Samantha's jaw dropped. Standing before her were 3 beings that were unmistakably not human. Tall, slender, with iridescent skin and large almond-shaped eyes, they regarded her with a mixture of surprise and what seemed like alarm. The central figure, adorned with intricate markings that Samantha assumed denoted some kind of rank, stepped forward. It spoke, a series of melodic clicks and whistles that made no sense to her. Seeing her confusion, the being touched a device on its wrist. A soft glow emanated from it, and suddenly, the alien's words became comprehensible. "Human, you have achieved what should not be possible for your species for at least another century," the alien said, its tone a mix of awe and concern. "We are the Zarkoni, observers of developing civilizations. Your experiment has forced us to reveal ourselves prematurely." Samantha's scientific mind raced to process this information. "You've been watching us. For how long?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The Zarkoni leader's expression shifted to something akin to embarrassment. "For millennia, we monitor countless young species across the galaxy, guiding their development from afar. But never in our history has a civilization made such a leap in quantum mechanics without our intervention." As the implications of this encounter began to sink in, alarms blared throughout the facility. Security personnel burst into the lab, weapons drawn. The situation quickly escalated as panicked shouts and orders filled the air. Samantha found herself acting on instinct. She stepped between the security team and the aliens, her hands raised. "Wait, don't shoot. They're not hostile," she yelled, her heart pounding in her chest. The next few hours were a blur of government officials, military personnel, and hurried explanations. As word of the encounter spread, the whole world seemed to hold its breath. News channels buzzed with speculation and grainy footage of the Zarkoni ship now visible in Earth's orbit. In Washington, D.C., President Ileana Rodriguez addressed the nation, her voice steady despite the unprecedented nature of the situation. "My fellow Americans and citizens of the world, today we have entered a new era in human history. We are not alone in the universe, and we have been noticed." As she spoke, similar scenes played out in capitals across the globe. The United Nations convened an emergency session, and world leaders scrambled to present a united front in the face of this paradigm-shifting event. Back at the lab, Samantha found herself thrust into the role of impromptu ambassador. The Zarkoni, still reeling from the unexpected turn of events, agreed to limited diplomatic exchanges while both sides figured out how to proceed. "Your quantum entanglement breakthrough has implications far beyond your world," the Zarkoni leader, who introduced himself as Zelnar, explained. "It's a key technology in faster-than-light communication and travel. Many species in the galactic community would be very interested in how you achieve this." Samantha's mind reeled at the possibilities. So there's a whole community of alien civilizations out there, and we just stumbled onto the galactic stage. Zelnar's expression was difficult to read, but his tone conveyed a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "Indeed, your species has a reputation for rapid advancement and unpredictability. This event will send shockwaves through the galactic political landscape." As days turned into weeks, Earth found itself grappling with its new reality. The initial fear and panic gave way to a surge of global unity and purpose. Scientists from around the world flocked to Samantha's lab, eager to understand and expand upon her breakthrough. Governments worldwide accelerated their space programs, pooling resources in a way that would have been unthinkable just months earlier. The promise of faster-than-light travel dangled before humanity like a tantalizing fruit, spurring innovation and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. But not everyone welcomed this new era with open arms. Protests erupted in cities across the globe, with some fearing alien influence and others decrying the rapid changes to society. Conspiracy theories ran rampant, and religious institutions struggled to reconcile their teachings with the reality of extraterrestrial life. Samantha found herself at the center of it all, her face plastered across news channels, and her inbox flooded with messages from around the world. She barely had time to eat or sleep, let alone process the enormity of what had happened. 1 month after the initial contact, the Zarkoni made an announcement that would change the course of human history. Zelnar, speaking before the United Nations General Assembly, extended an invitation that left the world in stunned silence. In light of your species' remarkable achievement and potential, we hereby invite Earth to join the Galactic Consortium of Developing Civilizations, Zelnar declared, his words echoing through the packed chamber. This will grant you access to knowledge and technologies beyond your current understanding, but it also comes with great responsibility. The assembly erupted into chaos, with delegates shouting questions and demands. Zelnar raised a hand, quieting the crowd. We understand this is a monumental decision. You will have 1 Earth year to prepare and decide. Should you accept, your world will never be the same. As Zelnar's words were broadcast around the globe, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The promise of advanced alien knowledge and technology was tempting, but the potential loss of autonomy and the unknown challenges ahead gave many pause. Samantha, watching the broadcast from her lab, felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. Her accidental discovery had catapulted humanity into a new age, for better or worse. As excited as she was about the scientific possibilities, she couldn't shake a feeling of apprehension about the future. In the months that followed, Earth became a hive of activity. Governments scrambled to establish protocols for interaction with alien species, while educational institutions rushed to incorporate xenobiology and advanced physics into their curricula. The global economy shifted dramatically, with companies pivoting to space-related technologies and services. A new era of innovation dawned, fueled by the tantalizing glimpses of advanced technology provided by the Zarkoni. Samantha found herself traveling the world, giving lectures and collaborating with scientists from every corner of the globe. Her quantum entanglement breakthrough became the foundation for a new field of study, one that promised to revolutionize everything from communication to energy production. As the 1-year deadline approached, tensions on Earth reached a fever pitch. The decision to join the Galactic Consortium would shape the future of humanity for generations to come. Global referendums were held, think tanks published endless analyses, and heated debates raged in homes and parliaments alike. On the eve of the deadline, Samantha stood on the balcony of her New York hotel room, gazing up at the stars. The Zarkoni ship, now a familiar sight in the night sky, gleamed like a beacon of humanity's potential future. Her phone buzzed with a message from President Rodriguez. The final tally was in. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Samantha read the results. Earth had voted, and the decision would soon be announced to the world and the galaxy beyond. As she looked back up at the stars, Samantha couldn't help but wonder what adventures and challenges awaited humanity in the vast, unknown expanse of the cosmos. Whatever lay ahead, one thing was certain: the human race was about to embark on its greatest. The Galactic Academy. The sleek, silver spacecraft glided through the star-studded void, its hull gleaming under the light of unfamiliar constellations. Inside, Samantha Chen stared out the viewport, still struggling to believe that she was actually traveling faster than light. It had been 6 months since Earth's momentous decision to join the Galactic Consortium of Developing Civilizations. The vote had been close, but in the end, humanity's curiosity and ambition had won out over fear of the unknown. Now, as part of the agreement, Earth was sending its first delegation to the prestigious Galactic Academy. Samantha, along with a carefully selected group of scientists, diplomats, and students, had been chosen to represent humanity in this interstellar institution of learning. As the discoverer of the quantum entanglement breakthrough that had catapulted Earth onto the galactic stage, she held a position of particular interest to the alien scientific community. Approaching Nexus Station, announced the ship's AI, its voice calm and unhurried. Please prepare for deceleration and docking procedures. As the ship slowed, a massive structure came into view. Nexus Station, home of the Galactic Academy, was a marvel of engineering. A sprawling complex of interconnected rings and spheres, it hung in space like a glittering jewel, ships of various designs buzzing around it like bees around a hive. The human delegation disembarked, their eyes wide with wonder as they took in the alien architecture and the dizzying variety of species bustling through the station's main concourse. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and colors moved about their business, barely sparing a glance for the newcomers. A tall, willowy being with 4 arms and iridescent skin approached the group. "Welcome, Terrans," it said, its voice melodious and soothing. "I am Exile Vera, your liaison to the Academy. Please, follow me." As they made their way through the station, Samantha couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The technology on display was centuries, if not millennia, beyond what Earth had achieved. Holographic displays flickered with information in dozens of alien languages, and what looked like personal anti-gravity devices allowed beings to float effortlessly between levels. Their first stop was the Academy's central auditorium, where the dean of the institution, a being that seemed to be composed entirely of shimmering energy, welcomed them officially. "Esteemed colleagues," the dean's voice resonated in their minds rather than their ears. "Today marks a historic occasion. The inclusion of Earth in our ranks brings new perspectives and potential to our hallowed halls of learning. We look forward to the exchange of knowledge and ideas that will undoubtedly flourish." As the dean spoke, Samantha noticed a group of aliens near the back of the auditorium. Unlike the others, who seemed curious or welcoming, these beings regarded the humans with what could only be described as disdain. She made a mental note to keep an eye on them. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of orientation sessions, introductory classes, and cultural exchange programs. The humans found themselves struggling to adapt not just to advanced alien concepts, but to the very structure of the Academy itself. Time was measured differently, days lasted longer, and even gravity varied depending on which section of the station you were in. Samantha threw herself into her studies, focusing on advanced quantum mechanics and its applications in galactic society. She found herself in classes with beings whose understanding of the universe made Earth's greatest minds seem like kindergartners in comparison. Yet to her surprise, her unique human perspective often led her to ask questions that her alien classmates had never considered. One day, as Samantha was poring over a particularly challenging problem in the Academy's vast library, she overheard a heated discussion between 2 alien students. "The humans shouldn't be here," one hissed, its tentacles writhing in agitation. "They're too young, too unpredictable. Allowing them access to this level of technology is dangerous." "But you've seen their rate of advancement," the other argued, its crystalline body shimmering with excitement. "Imagine what they could achieve with proper guidance." Samantha pretended to be absorbed in her work, but her mind raced. It seemed not everyone was happy with Earth's inclusion in the galactic community. She wondered how widespread this sentiment was and what it might mean for humanity's future. As the weeks turned into months, the human delegation began to make a name for themselves at the Academy. Their adaptability, creativity, and willingness to challenge established norms both impressed and unsettled their alien counterparts. Samantha, in particular, gained a reputation for her innovative approach to quantum mechanics. Her work on refining the accidental discovery that had brought her here was starting to turn heads. But with recognition came scrutiny, and she often felt the weight of alien eyes upon her, some curious, others wary. It was during a late-night study session in one of the Academy's advanced laboratories that Samantha stumbled upon something strange. As she was running a simulation of a new quantum communication protocol, she noticed an anomaly in the data stream. At first, she thought it was a glitch, but as she dug deeper, a pattern emerged. Hidden within the quantum noise was a coded message. With growing excitement and trepidation, Samantha worked to decipher it. What she found chilled her to the bone. The message spoke of a hidden faction within the Galactic Consortium, one that viewed emerging civilizations like Earth as a threat. They were planning to sabotage humanity's progress, to ensure that Earth remained controllable and dependent on more advanced species. Samantha's mind reeled. Who could she trust with this information? The alien faculty, her fellow human delegates. As she contemplated her next move, the lab door slid open with a soft hiss. She whirled around, her heart pounding, to find Sylvera standing in the doorway. The alien's usually serene features were twisted with concern. "Dr. Chen," Sylvera said, its voice low and urgent. "We need to talk. You're in danger, and so is Earth." Samantha's breath caught in her throat. "You know about the conspiracy," she whispered. Sylvera nodded gravely. "I'm part of a group working to expose it, but we need your help. Your unique understanding of quantum mechanics might be the key to unraveling their plans." As the gravity of the situation sank in, Samantha realized that her role at the Galactic Academy had just become far more crucial than she could have ever imagined. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galactic order, might rest on her shoulders. "What do we do now?" Samantha asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her gut. Sylvera's four hands moved in a complex gesture, activating a hidden security protocol. The lab's windows darkened, and a faint shimmer in the air indicated the activation of a privacy field. "First, we gather allies," the alien said. "There are others at the Academy who suspect something is amiss. Then, we dig deeper. The conspiracy has roots that go far beyond this institution." As Sylvera outlined their next steps, Samantha's mind raced with the implications. She had come to the Galactic Academy to learn, to help humanity take its place among the stars. Now she found herself at the center of a web of galactic intrigue, with the future of her entire species hanging in the balance. The human delegation had entered the Academy as wide-eyed students. It seemed they would have to become something far more if Earth was to survive its baptism by fire in the complex and often treacherous world of galactic politics. As the first rays of the station's artificial dawn began to seep through the lab's windows, Samantha squared her shoulders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was determined to face them. For Earth, for humanity, and for the promise of a truly united galactic community. The adventure that had begun with an accidental discovery in her lab on Earth was about to take a turn she could never have predicted. But as she looked at Sylvera, seeing the determination in the alien's eyes, Samantha felt a glimmer of hope. Together, perhaps they could unravel this conspiracy and secure a place for humanity among the stars. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Consortium and redefine humanity's role in the cosmos. Crisis at the edge of known space. The holographic display flickered in the dimly lit room, casting an eerie blue glow over the faces of the assembled beings. Samantha Chen stood at the center, her fingers dancing over the controls as she explained her findings to a diverse group of allies she and Sylvera had carefully cultivated over the past few months. "The quantum fluctuations are intensifying," she said, her voice tense. "Whatever's causing this disturbance, it's growing stronger, and it's coming from beyond the edge of mapped space." A Volcran scientist, his crystalline form shimmering with concern, leaned forward. "But that's impossible. Nothing should be able to generate quantum ripples of this magnitude." Samantha shook her head. "Impossible or not, it's happening. And if my calculations are correct, It could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. The room erupted into worried murmurs. Over the past few weeks, reports have been trickling in from the fringes of consortium space. Strange anomalies, ships disappearing without a trace, and now these quantum disturbances that defied explanation. Silvera, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke up. "We need to investigate this personally, but we can't trust the official channels. The conspiracy we've uncovered runs too deep." A Zarkoni elder, his iridescent skin dulled with age, nodded gravely. "Agreed. But how do we mount an expedition without alerting the consortium leadership?" Samantha's mind raced. Then, an idea struck her. What about the human delegation ship? It's small, fast, and not as closely monitored as consortium vessels. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. It was a risky proposition. If caught, it could jeopardize not only their mission, but Earth's standing in the galactic community. After a moment of tense silence, Silvera nodded. "It's our best option, but we'll need a cover story." Over the next few days, a plan was hatched. Under the guise of a cultural exchange mission to a nearby system, Samantha and a small team of trusted allies would take the human ship to investigate the source of the disturbances. As they made final preparations, Samantha couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. She had come to the Galactic Academy to learn, but now found herself embroiled in a mystery that could affect the entire galaxy. The day of departure arrived. As Samantha boarded the ship, she took one last look at the gleaming spires of the Academy. Would she ever see this place again? Pushing the thought aside, she stepped into the airlock. The small crew consisted of Samantha, Silvera, the Volcran scientist named Crixus, and a young human diplomat named Marcus Wong. As the ship detached from the docking bay and accelerated away from Nexus Station, an uneasy silence fell over the group. Days passed as they journeyed towards the edge of known space. Samantha spent most of her time in the ship's lab, analyzing the intensifying quantum fluctuations. The closer they got to their destination, the more erratic the readings became. On the 5th day of their journey, alarms blared throughout the ship. Samantha rushed to the bridge, her heart pounding. "What's happening?" Marcus, his face pale, pointed to the view screen. "Look." Before them, space itself seemed to be twisting and warping. Streams of energy in impossible colors danced across the void, forming patterns that hurt the eyes to look at directly. "By the cosmic core," Silvera whispered, all 4 of their arms working frantically over the controls. "I've never seen anything like this." Suddenly, the ship lurched violently. Sparks flew from consoles as systems overloaded. "We're being pulled in," Crixus shouted, his crystalline form vibrating with stress. Samantha's mind raced. This was beyond anything they had prepared for. As the ship was dragged closer to the anomaly, she made a split-second decision. Reroute all power to the quantum drive. She yelled over the cacophony of alarms. But that could tear the ship apart. Marcus protested. "If we don't, whatever that thing is will do it for us," Samantha retorted, already moving to make the adjustments herself. As the energy built up in the drive, the ship shuddered and groaned. Just as it seemed the hull would buckle under the strain, there was a blinding flash of light. When Samantha's vision cleared, she gasped. They were no longer in normal space. Around them swirled a kaleidoscope of energy and matter, defying all known laws of physics. "Where are we?" Marcus asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Before anyone could answer, a massive shape loomed out of the chaos. It was a structure of some kind, but on a scale that dwarfed even Nexus Station. As they watched in awe, parts of it seemed to phase in and out of existence. It's like nothing in the consortium database," Silvera said, their voice filled with a mixture of fear and wonder. Samantha's scientific curiosity overpowered her fear. "Can we get closer?" As they cautiously maneuvered towards the structure, their sensors picked up something else. Other ships, dozens of them, all caught in the same strange space. "Look!" Crixus exclaimed. "Some of those are the missing consortium vessels." Before they could investigate further, a beam of energy lanced out from the structure, enveloping their ship. For a moment, Samantha felt as if her very atoms were being pulled apart and reassembled. When the sensation passed, a new presence filled the bridge. It wasn't physical, but rather a consciousness that seemed to permeate the very air around them. "Welcome, travelers," a voice echoed in their minds. "We have waited eons for beings capable of reaching us." Samantha exchanged bewildered looks with her companions. What are you?" she managed to ask. "We are the architects," the voice responded, "creators of the quantum nexus that binds the galaxy. And you, young ones, have arrived just in time." As the enormity of the situation sank in, Samantha realized that their mission had just become far more complex than they could have ever imagined. They had stumbled upon something that could reshape their understanding of the universe itself. "In time for what?" HFY asked, their usual composure shaken. The response sent chills down Samantha's spine. "To prevent the unraveling of reality itself." As the presence of the architects filled the bridge, Samantha and her companions found themselves grappling with a revelation that threatened to upend everything they thought they knew about the universe. "The quantum nexus," the voice continued, "is the underlying structure that allows for the stability of spacetime. For billions of years, we have maintained this cosmic web, ensuring the coherence of reality across the galaxy." Images flashed in their minds, vast networks of energy stretching between stars, pulsing with power beyond comprehension. "But now," the architects said, a note of urgency in their collective voice, "the nexus is failing. The rapid expansion of intelligent life, the increasing use of faster-than-light travel and communication, it's all putting an unprecedented strain on the cosmic framework." Samantha's scientific mind raced to keep up with the implications. "The quantum fluctuations we detected, they're symptoms of this breakdown." "Correct, young one. Your species' recent leap in quantum technology was both a blessing and a curse. It accelerated the degradation, but it also made you uniquely capable of perceiving the problem." The weight of responsibility settled heavily on Samantha's shoulders. They had come seeking answers to a conspiracy, only to find themselves faced with a crisis that threatened the very fabric of the universe. "How can we help?" she asked, her voice steady despite the fear churning in her gut. The architect's response was both thrilling and terrifying. "We need your help to redesign the quantum nexus. Your fresh perspective, combined with our ancient knowledge, may be the key to saving reality itself." As the implications of this task sank in, Samantha exchanged looks with her companions. They had ventured into the unknown, seeking to protect Earth's place in the galactic community. Now they found themselves tasked with safeguarding the existence of everything they had ever known. The adventure that had begun in a lab on Earth had led them to the very edge of reality itself. As Samantha took a deep breath, preparing to face the greatest challenge of her life, she couldn't help but marvel at the twists of fate that had brought them here. Little did they know, their efforts to save the quantum nexus would not only reshape the fabric of the universe, but also redefine humanity's role in the cosmic order. The true test of human ingenuity and determination was about to begin, with the fate of all reality hanging in the balance. The power of human ingenuity. The makeshift laboratory aboard the human ship hummed with activity. Holographic displays flickered with complex equations and three-dimensional models of quantum structures. Samantha Chen stood at the center of it all, her brow furrowed in concentration as she manipulated the intricate web of energy that represented the quantum nexus. Nearby, HFY and Crixus worked tirelessly, their alien physiologies pushed to the limit as they grappled with concepts that stretched the boundaries of known science. Marcus, though not a scientist, had proven invaluable in coordinating their efforts and liaising with the enigmatic architects. Days had blurred into weeks as they worked to understand and redesign the cosmic framework that held reality together. The architects, beings of pure energy and thought, provided guidance and shared knowledge accumulated over eons, But the task of innovation fell squarely on the shoulders of the diverse team from the younger races. Certainly, I'll continue with Part 4 of the Quantum Nexus, Earth's Unexpected Role in Galactic Affairs. Part 4. The Power of Human Ingenuity. The makeshift laboratory aboard the human ship hummed with activity. Holographic displays flickered with complex equations and three-dimensional models of quantum structures. Samantha Chen stood at the center of it all, her brow furrowed in concentration as she manipulated the intricate web of energy that represented the quantum nexus. Nearby, Seidelvera and Crixus worked tirelessly, their alien physiologies pushed to the limit as they grappled with concepts that stretched the boundaries of known science. Marcus, though not a scientist, had proven invaluable in coordinating their efforts and liaising with the enigmatic architects. Days had blurred into weeks as they worked to understand and redesign the cosmic framework that held reality together. The architects, beings of pure energy and thought, provided guidance and shared knowledge accumulated over eons, but the task of innovation fell squarely on the shoulders of the diverse team from the younger races. "It's not working," Crixus said, his crystalline form dulled with exhaustion. "Every simulation we run ends with the nexus collapsing. We're missing something fundamental." Samantha rubbed her temples, fighting off a headache. The pressure was immense. Somewhere out in normal space, the quantum fluctuations were growing stronger. Time was running out. "Maybe we're approaching this from the wrong angle," she mused aloud. "We've been trying to reinforce the existing structure, but what if we need to rethink the entire concept of the nexus itself?" Silvera's four eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of intense thought. "Elaborate, Dr. Chen. What are you proposing?" Samantha's mind raced as she tried to put her intuition into words. "The current nexus is like a rigid framework. It worked well for billions of years, but it can't adapt to the rapid changes brought on by the expansion of intelligent life. What if instead of a fixed structure, we design something more organic, something that can grow and evolve with the universe itself?" The architect's presence intensified around them, a sign of keen interest. "In all our existence, we never considered such an approach. Please continue." Energized by the breakthrough, Samantha began to sketch out her idea, both verbally and through the holographic interface. She drew upon everything she had learned about quantum mechanics, but also incorporated concepts from biology, ecology, and even human social structures. "Imagine the nexus as a living network," she explained, her hands moving rapidly as she manipulated the holographic model. "Instead of trying to control and contain the quantum fluctuations, we work with them. We create a self-regulating system that can adapt to changes in the cosmic environment." As she spoke, the others began to catch her vision. Crixus added his expertise in crystalline structures, suggesting ways to create quantum nodes that could replicate and evolve. Silvera, with their deep understanding of multidimensional mathematics, began to work out the complex equations that would govern this new dynamic nexus. For hours, they worked feverishly, refining the concept. The architects provided insights and occasional course corrections, but largely allowed the younger races to take the lead. It was their fresh perspective, their ability to think outside the constraints of billions of years of established cosmic order, that was needed now. As their work progressed, Samantha couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. Humanity, one of the youngest spacefaring races in the galaxy, was now instrumental in reshaping the very foundation of reality. The human capacity for innovation, for thinking beyond established limits, was proving to be their greatest asset. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of work, they were ready to run a full simulation of their new quantum nexus design. The tension in the makeshift lab was palpable as Samantha initiated the program. The holographic display exploded into a dazzling array of colors and patterns. The new nexus, represented as a complex, ever-shifting web of energy, pulsed and flowed. It absorbed the simulated quantum fluctuations, not fighting against them, but incorporating them into its structure, growing stronger and more resilient. It's working," Crixus whispered, his crystalline form glowing with excitement. Silvera's four hands moved in a blur over the controls, running diagnostic after diagnostic. The stability is unprecedented. This design could theoretically sustain itself for trillions of years, adapting to any cosmic changes we can model. The architect's presence swelled with what could only be described as joy and approval. Young ones, you have succeeded where we could not. Your design is not just a solution to the current crisis, but a new paradigm for the very nature of reality. Samantha felt a wave of relief wash over her, followed quickly by a sense of awe at what they had accomplished. But there was no time to celebrate. How do we implement this? She asked. Surely we can't just reboot the universe. The architect's response was both thrilling and terrifying. Not a reboot, but a transformation. We will need to seed this new Nexus design throughout the cosmos, allowing it to gradually replace the old structure. But to do so, we must journey to the very heart of the galaxy. Marcus, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. The galactic core. But that's supposed to be impossible to reach. The gravitational forces alone would tear any ship apart. Under normal circumstances, yes, the architects replied. But these are not normal circumstances. We will guide you, but the journey will be perilous. The fate of all reality rests on your success. As the enormity of their task sank in, Samantha looked at her companions. They were exhausted, pushed to their mental and physical limits, but there was a fire in their eyes. They had come too far to back down now. When do we leave? Samantha asked, her voice filled with determination. The architect's response was immediate. Now. Reality cannot wait. As they prepared for the most important journey in the history of the universe, Samantha couldn't help but marvel at the twists of fate that had brought them here. What had begun as an accidental discovery in her lab on Earth had led to this moment. A small, diverse group of beings from the younger races, about to embark on a mission to save all of existence. The true test of their ingenuity, courage, and determination was about to begin. As their ship prepared to plunge into the unknown, guided by the ancient wisdom of the architects, Samantha felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that the unique perspective and adaptability of her team, human and alien alike, would be their greatest asset. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and at its center stood humanity, ready to prove its worth among the stars.